says, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. This is class number 8, right? And this is the last class before the next section, which is the description of the salat. So the next section is going to be the salat in detail, the movements, what to say, how many times, and things like that, inshallah, which will be next, inshallah, next week. But next week, Maghrib is, the time is moving up, so next week, inshallah, we had to start at 6:45 instead of 7 o'clock, inshallah. We start at 6:45 instead of 7 next week, inshallah. Tayyib. So now we're on the last condition, which here says, وَمِنْهَا النِّيَّةِ. The Musannaf rahimahullah, he says, and also from the conditions, the intention. This starts on page 223 in the PDF, if you have the PDF. The intention, right? So from the conditions of the salat is that a person makes their intention. Now, the intention is easy to do, but you just got to make sure it's not like we're paying attention when it's time to make the intention. So what do we mean when we say make your intention anyway? How do you make your intention? If it's time to pray. If it's time to pray, what do I have to do to make my intention?
In your heart.
In
your heart.
In my heart? What?
Like you know what you like to do, like what prayer you like to pray.
I know what prayer I'm about to pray in my heart.
Like the reason why.
What you mean the reason why?
So worship Allah.
Okay. I know what I'm about to do in my heart. I know what prayer I'm about to pray. And the reason why I'm praying it is to worship Allah. Tell you? Anybody else? Because we use intention. A lot of people use intentions, the word intentions, for a lot.
Just formulate the thought in your mind that you about to do all of the actions of the prayer.
You formulate the thought in your mind that you're about to.
So we ready to pray Maghrib. So I'm thinking when I hear the adhan or I hear the comment, all right, the call of prayer has been announced. So my intention is, I'm thinking to myself, oh, somebody gonna lead the prayer. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna pray behind. So that's the intention.
Tell you.
I thought about that. That's what I'm about to do once all of the prerequisites have been met.
Tell you. Okay. You thought about what prayer you're gonna make. Once you did everything else, it's time to pray. Now you stand up and you thought about what prayer you're about to make. Tell you. Anybody else? The intention. Because sometimes, you might set intentions on a sister. If you set intentions on a sister, is it the same thing? The same intention? No. It's not the same. Huh?
I think that's apples and oranges.
Apples and oranges?
I mean, it's a fruit.
It's a fruit. It's not the same.
It's not the same as making intention for prayer.
So the intention for prayer is not like the intentions that a person said, I set my intentions on the sister. Because it's the same word, right? The intention for prayer is under the category we're talking about, a condition for the prayer to be valid. Meaning if my intention is not correct for the salat, right, then my salat is not going to be correct. It's not going to be valid. I can invalidate my prayer. I got to pray all over again. That prayer didn't count.
All right, so making intentions for the prayer is that you have an objective and you have a purpose,
Mm.
then you do the actions to complete that purpose. And that purpose is to pray for the purpose of drawing you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's a good word, a purpose. What's the purpose of me lining up right now behind this person? I got to make my intent. My intention is going to be my purpose for going to the masjid at this time of the day, right, to pray a salat, right? I have a purpose of doing it. I'm not just doing it because I don't have nothing else to do. Or I could pray, I could make a salat because of another reason without an intention for prayer. Is it possible? I make a salat without an intention, with another reason, like what?
Showing off.
No, dang, I knew somebody. Not the bad one. I was going to say, let's go good on the good side. We teaching somebody. I'm teaching somebody. But on the bad side, we're not even going to go there. No, yeah, we don't even want to go there. But if a person does that, that's not going to count either. Or that's going to be a whole problem. So a person could pray a whole salat without the intention of praying a dhuhr, for example, or asr, but they prayed 4 rakat. They did everything you would do, but that wasn't their intention. Their intention was just to show the person sitting next to them who they don't know how we pray. This is what we do, and I'm gonna show you how right now. And that when they did that, that doesn't count for their salat. Everybody with me? It counted for what they did it for. I just was trying to show you what it is. Now I got to stand up. I'm really about to pray. So you with me? So that's the first thing, the intention. So the first rule, it says, فَيَجِبُ أَنْ يَنْوِيَ عَيْنَ الصَّلَاةٍ مُعَيَّنَةٍ. The first thing you have to do, he says, it's obligatory to specify which prayer you're about to pray. Which is not the same as having the intention to make salat. The intention to make salat. If a person lines up or they stand up to pray with the intention to make salat. What number is this? What page? Oh, this is the last one. I have number 6 or 5. What you got? I got number 6. He's talking about for the conditions, right? This should be the last one, 6. Meaning a person could be praying. There's a voluntary prayer. It's a voluntary sunnah prayer. It's called a sunnah mutlaq. Sunnah mutlaqa, which means, as we say in our terms, I'm gonna just pray 2 rakats. Not for anything specific. Not because I came in the masjid, not 2 rakats before fajr. I'm gonna just pray 2 rakat. Right? That's like the intention. I'm just praying. You can't pray an obligatory prayer with that type of niyyah, that type of intention. Right? Every prayer needs to be specific. My intention in my heart, my purpose of this prayer is Salat al-Tarawih. My purpose for this prayer is Salat al-Maghrib. That's my purpose. Salat al-Isha, whatever prayer it is, I got to specify. Everybody clear? You with me? That's what it means by you have to intend to pray a specific prayer, not just I'm going to pray. You might tell somebody you're going to pray. I'm going to go pray. But for the salat itself, the intention in the heart, what am I doing this for? This is Maghrib. You with me? Not just I'm praying. I'm praying is too general. It's not specific enough. Why? Because it's a lot of different prayers. For example, there's numerous prayers that are 2 rakat. Right? Then there's numerous prayers that are 4 rakat. And they look exactly the same. And the only thing that separates them is the intention, right? So that's the first thing. So for the intention, number one, you have to make this specific intention for every prayer. Whatever prayer you're praying, the intention needs to be made for that prayer. Meaning, when I stand in my heart, my purpose of this prayer is dhuhr. I don't have to stand up, y'all, and make an announcement, not to myself or to anybody else, that I'm praying dhuhr. Because the area, the intention is in the heart. As long as that's what I'm standing for, I know what I'm doing, cool. And it's possible a person could, as they're going to say, if the tongue, a person could say something, for example, we already pray Maghrib, right? A person could come and they say, we about to pray Isha. They sound to the catcher. They say, we about to pray Isha, but in the heart, he really knows he's praying Maghrib. Person comes here and say, y'all pray Isha? Yeah, I said, no. Or they on the phone, I'll call you back, I'm about to pray Isha, but we're really about to pray Maghrib. And his intention is for Maghrib, he's fine. Even if his tongue, even if he made a mistake on what he said. Tayyib. He says, it's not a condition, and he mentioned 5 different things here. The niyyah is not a requirement for the following things in the following situations. The 5 daily prayers are what? Obligatory. So when I stand up for the 5, with my intention, when I stand with my intention to be, for example, Fajr or Maghrib or whatever salat it is from the 5 daily prayers, I don't have to intend obligatory Maghrib. Maghrib is obligatory. You with me? I don't have to intend obligatory Fajr. Fajr is obligatory already. I don't have to intend obligatory Dhuhr or Asr. Those are already obligatory. Everybody with me? It's 5 things. And listen, we know these, but we might not know these terms like that, but we do speak with them already. The second one is wal-ada. A person doesn't have to intend al-ada. It says on page 224, right? It says optional. Oh, okay. It's out of order. Ada, which it says that which is within the prayer time. That which is in the prayer time. Does that make sense? It says on page 224 at the top, it says, it is not a condition that one specifies his intention if the prayer is an obligation. If dhuhr is already obligatory, I don't have to intend obligatory dhuhr. I don't have to intend obligatory maghrib, obligatory isha, right? Then it says optional. Don't worry about that right now. Then it says that which is within the prayer time. That which is within the prayer time. Does that make sense? No.
So a person doesn't have to intend an obligatory prayer. That's the second one.
La. Remember, every obligatory prayer, I have to intend specifically which prayer I'm going to pray. Now, when I pray those prayers, what don't I have to intend? I don't have to intend that Fajr is obligatory. It's already obligatory. I don't have to intend Dhuhr that I'm praying it on time. I'm praying it on time already. You see what I'm saying? Dhuhr has a 3-hour window. Dhuhr is from 1 o'clock to almost 5 o'clock. As long as I pray within the time, it's already on time. I don't have to intend I'm praying Dhuhr on time, as we say. You with me? That's what that means. I don't have to, all right? The next one, it says, wal qadha. It says that which has lapsed. No, that which has lapsed. I don't have to intend that which has lapsed. I don't have to intend when I pray Dhuhr. My intention for Dhuhr has to be what, y'all? No, if I'm trying to pray Salatul Dhuhr, what do I have to intend? That I'm praying Salatul Dhuhr. That's it. I don't have to intend that I'm praying Dhuhr on time. I don't have to intend that I'm praying Dhuhr, but I'm making it up. That's what it means by that which has lapsed in time. That means I missed Dhuhr. I have to make it up. So when I stand to pray Dhuhr, I don't have to bring all right, I'm praying Dhuhr. I'm praying Dhuhr, but I'm making it up. That's not necessary. Dhuhr, that's the obligation, is to intend each prayer, whether it's on time or if I missed it, I don't have to intend that I'm making up a missed prayer. Yes.
So for example, all right, inshallah, we're gonna pray Maghrib. Somebody might want to pray the congregation aloud, but they ain't pray also. They just intended in their heart that they praying also, even though we praying Maghrib.
Yeah.
Because they know they ain't pray also. They was at work, they missed it.
Yes.
Maghrib time, they just come in, they make the intention. I'm praying also. We praying Maghrib, then they want to stand up.
Yes, which means it could be people in the line. Don't get into that issue. That's a different issue. I'm not getting into that issue. No. The point of that being, the whole point of that is possible. It's people in the line with different intentions. That's the point. You see what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, but my question would be, do they have to pray in their intentions that I'm praying Asr? I still gotta pray Maghrib after it's over.
Sahih, yes.
Okay.
We'll deal with that later. That's going to come up. Point being, it could be people in the line with different intentions for prayers. Tayyib. The third one, would I don't have to intend. It says it's a nafil. It's a voluntary prayer. If I'm praying a voluntary prayer, it's voluntary already. I don't have to, for example, my intention is to pray the 2 sunnahs for Fajr, the 2 sunnahs before Fajr. I don't have to intend to pray 2 sunnah, and they are voluntary before Fajr. I don't have to add that, if it makes sense. Which means, and I'm only using this to make it, I don't have to stack up my intentions when I'm praying a certain prayer. This is an obligatory prayer. I'm praying Dhuhr. That's enough. My intention is the 2 sunnahs before Fajr. That's enough. My intention is Taraweeh. That's enough. I don't have to intend Taraweeh, and it's optional. And you with me? It's Taraweeh. Tayyib. And the fifth one is Al-I'ada, which is translated here as if it is a repetition. If it is a repetition, I don't have to intend that I'm repeating a salat. All right, number one, why would I repeat a salat? I wasn't in wudu. Cool. I pray Asr, I didn't have wudu. I sit down, I say, I forgot I broke wudu for Asr. It's still Asr time, right? So if I didn't pray Asr with wudu, that means I never prayed Asr. Did I pray Asr with the Jama'ah? I stood in the line, I prayed with everybody. Did it count? It didn't count, which means I have to pray Asr again. And that's called Al-I'ada. I have to pray again, and it's in the same time frame. You with me? It's different terminologies, y'all, and these terminologies make a difference when it comes to certain issues. If I have to pray again in the same time and it's still in Asr time, that's Al-I'ada. If I have to pray again, I have to pray Asr again, but now it's Maghrib, that means I have to not pray Asr again, I have to make up Asr, Qadha. You with me? Everybody with me? If I prayed Asr on time with no problems and I don't have to repeat Asr, that's Al-Ada. That's normal. It's nothing. Everybody with me? The point is the intention is specific and you don't have to add those things for those 5 situations. Everybody got the 5? The first one, Fadl. What don't I have to make the intention for? That it is obligatory. If I'm praying Dhuhr, Dhuhr is already obligatory. I'm praying Asr, it's already obligatory. I don't have to say, my intention has to be, because what a person would do is, they say, oh man, I made the intention for Dhuhr, but I forgot to make the intention that it was obligatory. You don't have to make the intention that it's obligatory. You made the intention for Dhuhr. That's enough. Tayyib. The second one, you don't have to make the intention of what? That I'm praying on time. You praying it and it's time, right? The third one,
That which is left.
what does that mean?
It means that the prayer, you missed the time, the proper time for the prayer.
So I don't have to make the intention that I'm making up a prayer. I just have to make the intention for the prayer that I'm praying, whether it's in the wrong time or not. Tayyib. The fourth one is a voluntary prayer. I don't have to make an intention. Part of my intention for Taraweeh doesn't that I'm praying Taraweeh and it's optional. My intention is for Taraweeh. My intention is for whatever the Sunnah prayer is. And the fifth one, I don't have to make the intention that I'm repeating a prayer. Meaning, I pray Asr without wudu. I sit down, I think about it. I forgot I went to the bathroom, I broke wudu. I got to pray again. When I stand up, when I go make wudu and come pray my second Asr, right? Asr, when I pray again. My intention doesn't have to be, I'm praying Asr again, because I prayed the first one without, I don't have to do all that. I'm praying Asa. Right, I got will do. Tayyib. Everybody clear? Those are the 5 things that don't have to be attached with the intention. Well, what has to be attached with the intention is the specific prayer that I'm about to pray. And I don't like I have to stand up there and say it and announce it to myself. And I'm only saying that because I know a person told me before. He said, why you didn't tell me I didn't have to stand in the mirror and say, I intend to make wudu for such and such and such and such salat. All right? You don't have to make the announcement to yourself. The intention is in the heart. طيب. The next issue. قال رحمه الله وينوي مع التحريم. This is now, when do we make the intention for the salat? When do we make the intention? So for example, we're going to pray Maghrib in about 40 minutes, right? Maghrib is about 40 minutes. Do we make that intention for Maghrib now? Or do we have to wait until the adhan? Do we make the intention of Maghrib at the adhan? You with me? Do we have to make the attention at the Iqamah for Maghrib? You with me? Huh? Yes. When you say Allahu Akbar, we make the takbir. When you say Allah, not when you say Allahu Akbar, because if you say Allahu Akbar without the intention, it's not going to count. So right before the takbir, right before the Allahu Akbar, at the latest, is the time to make the intention. Meaning the intention is not made a half hour before. Yes.
No, I was going to ask you that, brother. So you say, like, it can't be 5 minutes before that. It has to be in conjunction with the takbir.
In conjunction with the start of the prayer. He says it's allowed to do it a little bit before the takbirah. Now, the question is, if we say a little bit, right? A little bit before the takbirah, what's a little bit? Huh? What'd you say? According to the custom. It says here, right? I just want to read y'all this. What'd you say? According to the custom, orfan. It says, also, it's allowed by zamanin yasir, orfan. According to the custom of the people, what would we consider a little bit of time before the takbirah? Before we start the prayer, what's a little bit of time before we start the salat? 5 minutes? 15? Oh, man. Enough to make wudu? It don't look like we agreed on anything, so. Huh? When you're lining up? That's your latest you can do is right before the takbirah. Right?
When you say the latest you can do it, so, I mean, it has to be an earlier. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be, but I'm saying what is too early?
Was too early?
Because I mean, sometimes I may be coming. I said, man, I'm going to the salat. I'm going to the masjid. I'm gonna make salat tomorrow. I get here and y'all praying. You know what I'm saying? And so, I might just get like, nothing here. So I didn't make the intention.
What did you do when you lined? When you went to the? All right, good. When you walked to the salat, what was you doing?
I made my intention to pray, but I already made mine.
No. When you walked in and the people are praying Maghrib, you come in and they praying, and you walk into the line. What do you like? You don't have nothing. You just walk into the line. You feel what I'm saying? The intention is easy. It's easy.
But I'm saying I'm not verbally saying.
You don't have to verbally say it.
But I mean,
you don't have to verbally say it. You come in and they praying Maghrib, right? You're forming the intention as you walk into the salat. This Maghrib. Even if you don't say it, they praying Maghrib already, right? You trying to pray Maghrib. That's what I'm coming to pray. I'm coming to pray Maghrib. I don't have to say it. You feel what I'm saying? Some people, I don't know, maybe they just want to check. They praying Maghrib. They want to be, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you that's similar to? So if I walk in the masjid right now, and y'all praying Maghrib, as I'm walking up to the line, is that the purpose and the objective?
If that's what your purpose and objective
That's
is.
what I'm saying. If I'm coming to pray Maghrib and I know I'm coming to pray Maghrib,
Yeah, that's it.
when I step up, it's just like
it's easy. The niyyah is very easy, y'all. You just got to be conscious that we need to have a niyyah. How you got to do it? Do you got to be standing, sitting, laying down? None of that is going to affect what's here. If I'm walking and they praying, if I come in, if I drove all the way to the masjid to pray Asr, I walk in the masjid, they pray Asr. I said, Dad, let me make wudu. They already praying. What am I rushing for? What am I trying to hurry up and do? I'm trying to get to pray Asr. I don't want to miss the Asr salat with the Jama'ah.
What if, like for example, I just come into the masjid, I didn't realize it was Asr or it was Maghrib, and y'all was already praying. I walk into the masjid with no intention, and I see that y'all praying, and I said, "Why not pray? Go make wudu, and then jump in the prayer." Do I still give a word for that prayer or no?
Did you have an intention to pray Asr?
No, I just walked in.
Pay attention. This is good. You don't need to have an intention for anything when you're in your car. I'm just going to Family Dollar. I'm moving around. I forgot what time it was. Next thing I know, I see everybody going to the masjid. It's time for Asr. Oh, let me pray Asr. Khalas. This is my intention. I don't have to intend it in the car. I can be doing whatever I'm doing. I don't have to ride down the street and having it. I have to have an intention when I say Allahu Akbar. Before that. Everybody with me? Tayyib. That's why it says intention should be, what is that? In tandem, in tandem with the takbiratul ihram. Tayyib. At the time, tayyib. It says it is acceptable if the intention is made slightly before, provided that it is within the time, prayer time. Right? له تقديمها عليها بزمن يسير في الوقت, as long as it's in the time of the salat we about to pray. So say, for example, our next salat is Maghrib, right? Let's say the adhan is at 7:50. The adhan is at 7:50. In order for me to make my intention for Maghrib, it has to be time for Maghrib. Meaning I can't make my intention for Maghrib during the time of Asr, which means at bare minimum, for me to make my intention for Maghrib, it has to be what time? 7:50. That means I at least, if I'm in the masjid, the adhan went off, I can make my intention for Maghrib, right? And that's assuming Maghrib is at the adhan, and then we're going to pray in 10 minutes, right? If we want to put a time frame on it at the earliest. طيب. The next issue. فإن قطعها في أثناء الصلاة أو تردد بطلت. Two things that invalidate the salat. It's going to break the prayer attached to the intention. And this is important because a person can pray the whole prayer, and for real, it doesn't count. Not that they missed anything, but what they did miss was the intention based on one or two things. Either they broke their intention of praying the prayer in the prayer. They praying Maghrib, they praying Lord, whatever they praying. And during the prayer, they no longer have the intention of praying that prayer. Everybody with me? Tayyib. I'm going to use this. It's going to come up again. We praying Fajr, 2 rak'ah. Right? Praying Salat al-Fajr. So while we praying Fajr, this is a little different, but I'm going to change my intention from praying Salat al-Fajr to praying my sunnahs for Fajr, because they both 2 rak'ah. You with me? I'm praying, and this is going to come up again. I just want to give you an idea how a person can be praying and change their intention, right? Or some people, sometimes they get here late, or they rushing to get to the masjid, they run to the masjid, they think they already prayed, they don't have enough time. So they say, for example, like people did, they came and they just start praying. They start praying Fajr. Then they start seeing the Iqamah is called for Fajr. They came in and started praying Fajr. They thought everybody prayed Fajr. Somebody starts calling the Iqamah for Fajr. Once the person starts calling the Iqamah for Fajr, what do? They don't want to be praying Fajr anymore because they want to pray with the Jama'ah. So what do? In their heart, with their heart, they might start looking around, and they might just walk off. A person might say, well, I'm gonna just try to make these a sunnah real quick, which you can't do, but we're gonna get to that. But a person might change that while they're praying. If a person does one of those things and cut their intention while they're praying, that salat is not valid. A person might say, well, this is not my Fajr. It's not my Fajr anymore. Well, what is it? I'm gonna just do a forced salat because I don't want to waste my 2 rakat or something like that, right? In order to change your intention, it's specifics to that, and that's coming up, inshallah. Or that's one thing. If a person changes the intention during the salat, or if a person they're hesitant about what salat they're praying. They're hesitant about what salat they're praying, right? I don't know how they translated that. They say doubtful. It says retracting or being unsure of one's intention. It says taraddud is unsure. They hesitant, like, did I make my intention? Is this dua or asr? That type of intention while you're praying is going to invalidate the prayer. Everybody clear? The intention has to be a solid intention from beginning to the end. If you break it, you change it. There's rules to changing it, and that's what we're about to do. But it's not like you could just change your intention whenever you want to whatever you want while you're praying. Tayyib? It says unsure because on the next line it says doubtful, right? One of them is taraddud. Taraddud is like being hesitant, and shak is doubt. So if a person changes, they either cut the intention off while they're praying, or they're hesitant about with their intention while they're praying. Either way, that's going to validate their prayer. Tayyib. The next one, وَإِذَا شَكَّ فِيهَا اسْتَأْنَفَ. If a person has doubt in what? Good. Or, it doesn't say it here, but if a person have doubt in their intention, or if they have doubt in, not the prayer, but the takbirah. Did I make the takbirah to the wrong? You know, you be praying, sometimes you might. So a person might doubt that I start the prayer. Brothers, we gotta be careful, brothers. I don't know what the sisters be doing. I'll be seeing a lot of brothers don't join the prayer correctly. I've seen brothers just walk up and just. I've seen we're in, for example, sujood, and I'm coming from making wudu, right? And don't even make the takbirah to ihram. Just come in and get right on their knees. Right? It's a specific way to join the salat. Every salat starts. The salat does not start until we say Allahu Akbar. You got to say Allahu Akbar standing up. You can't just walk in and because you're late, you just get down on your knees and go into sajda.
So real quick, if I walk in, I make wudu and come back, sajda. If I don't go down to sajda, what do? Where do I start?
No, before you go into sajda, you stand up, Allahu Akbar, and then go to sajda. That's the first thing. That starts the salat. So he says if a person has doubt in either if they did the takbirah to ihram, if they started the prayer, or in their intention, then they start the prayer over. It says that he should repeat the prayer from the beginning. Yeah, they start the prayer over. Tayyib. This is the next issue about the one we was just talking about. Change in the intention while you're praying. And remember last class we spoke about there are things that are allowed in the voluntary prayers that are not allowed in the obligatory prayers. There's more room in the voluntary prayers are more flexible than the obligatory prayers. So he says, وَإِنْ قَلَبَ مُنْفَرِدٌ فَرَضَهُ نَفْلًا فِي وَقْتِهِ مُتَّسِعْ جَازَ. If a person is praying, right, Their obligatory prayer. They praying the obligatory prayer, and while they're praying the obligatory prayer, they change the intention for the obligatory prayer to a voluntary prayer. They change the intention from the obligatory prayer to a voluntary prayer, right? For example, if they do this, this is fine. Just to keep it simple, it's the obligatory prayer is the highest level. The voluntary prayer is a lower level than the obligatory prayer. You can go from higher level to lower level with your intention. So you can go from the intention of an obligatory prayer down to a voluntary prayer, but you can't go the opposite way. You can't have a voluntary prayer, and while you're praying a voluntary prayer, you know what, this word, I'm praying my 2 sunnahs before Fajr, and you know what, I'm gonna just make these my Fajr because I gotta go. So while I'm praying my voluntary prayers, I can't turn the voluntary into the obligatory while I'm praying. But if I'm praying my obligatory prayer, like a brother comes in and he prays, he starts praying Fajr. He thought he missed Fajr. While he's praying Fajr, somebody comes in and calls the adhan. So now he knows they didn't pray Fajr yet. So while he's praying his Fajr, he can do what? He can change his intention to make those 2 rak'ah, instead of being his Fajr, they can be his 2 sunnahs for Fajr, before Fajr. Everybody clear? If a person does that. As long as he has enough time to do that. Meaning the salat time is not about to go out. You with me? So let's say, for example, the salat, say you're praying dhuhr, right? The adhan for Asr is like 4:50. Like, you didn't pray dhuhr yet. You want to pray dhuhr, but it's sunnahs before dhuhr. You want to, right? It's sunnahs before dhuhr. So you start praying dhuhr at 4:45. The adhan for Asr is at 4:50. You start praying your obligatory dhuhr at 4:45. While you're praying your obligatory dhuhr, you say, you know what, I want to pray my sunnahs before dhuhr. Right? Is a person going to have enough time to pray sunnahs for dhuhr and then stand up and then pray another 4 rak'ah for dhuhr on time before 4:50? They're not going to have enough time. So in that case, you can't do it. It has to be enough time to pray both of them. If I'm going to change my obligatory prayer to a voluntary prayer, it has to be enough time to pray the voluntary prayers, finish them, stand up, and then pray the obligatory prayer in the same time without me going into the next salat time. Is that clear? Anybody not clear on that? In order for me to change my obligatory prayer while I'm praying into a voluntary prayer, I have to have enough time, meaning the next salat prayer is not going to start. I need enough time to do that. Meaning, if I'm pressed for time, if it's only 5 minutes, 3 minutes to the next adhan, I'm not going to have time to pray voluntary prayers and then stand up and play obligatory. I'm going to be into the next salat already. So in order to do that, I need to make sure it's enough time. If I don't have enough time, then I need to leave them. Don't worry about the voluntary prayers and pray my obligatory prayers on time. And at that point, I just missed the voluntary prayers. طيب. The next one, وإن انتقل بنية من فرض إلى فرض بطل. If a person is praying an obligatory prayer, that's the highest rank, right? The highest prayer is obligatory prayer. So what can we do? We can go out intention. We can go from high to low, which is from higher to the sunnah. We can go from sunnah intention to make it obligatory intention. What about from one obligatory prayer, my intention, over to another obligatory prayer? Huh? Say it again. Lateral. Yeah, lateral move. Yeah. A lateral move. Can I pull a lateral move on the intention? Meaning, say for example, I'm praying Asr. I'm praying Asr. It's Asr. It's still Asr time. I'm praying Asr, right? And while I'm praying Asr, I think to myself, I forgot to pray Dhuhr, right? Dang, I'm praying Asr. I forgot to pray Dhuhr. I'm gonna just make this now. I'm gonna make this. What? I'm gonna make this now my Dhuhr, right? I can't do that. I can't cross. I can't go lateral with the Fard. All the obligatory prayers from the beginning to the end, the intention has to be for that prayer. Only thing I can do is go from top to bottom, not bottom, but you know, more important to what's a little less important. Obligatory to sunnah, recommended.
Break out of the salat, takbir again with different intention.
Say it again.
So you just break out the salat and takbir with a different intention.
For what?
All right, if I takbir,
Mm.
I'm praying outside.
Yeah.
You know what? I ain't prayed. I ain't prayed good.
Mm.
So I break out of the salat and then takbir with the intention to do it. That's what you're saying, right?
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm asking. No, I'm asking. I'm saying you can't make a lateral.
No, what I'm saying is what you can't do is what the author is saying. The author is saying is what you can't do is go in the salat from one obligation over to the other one. So just because you're praying asr and it's obligatory, you can't just move your shift your intention over to the dhuhr. You can't do that. What can you do? You can finish praying asr.
But see,
You're still going to owe dhuhr anyway.
You go to something different though. But you can't salam out of that salat before it's done, and then pray the one that you missed. Because that sounds like what he was.
Is that what you were asking?
I'm saying what the officer.
No, what was you asking? The author didn't say that. What was you asking? You switching up. Don't switch it up. We just want, because, no, that's another issue.
No, I wasn't talking about congregation.
Mm.
I'm saying if I come in here,
Mm.
right, and it's Asr time. Let's say, for instance, y'all already prayed Asr, but it's still Asr time. So I go and I take beer to pray Asr.
Yeah.
And while I'm praying Asr, you know, I ain't prayed Lord.
Dang.
So I break out of the salat.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can't do that because Asr's already in. That's what you're saying. So I'd have to continue.
I didn't say
I'm
that.
asking.
Oh, you asking me? Oh,
Yeah, man, you ducking.
I'm not. I didn't say that. I ain't say that. But I'm with you though. But that's an issue that's coming up. That's not this issue. Let's just focus on this. But that's coming up. Right now, we want to know. You can't go from obligatory over to obligatory in the prayer. You can't go from voluntary up to an obligatory prayer in the prayer. What you can do is go from an obligatory intention to a voluntary or recommended sunnah intention. Tayyib. The other ones, they coming inshallah. Tayyib. The next issue, he says, وَتَجِبُ نِيَّةُ الْإِمَامَةِ وَالْإِتِّمَامِ. He says it's obligatory to have the intention of being the imam if you lead in the salat. Meaning, with my intention for praying Maghrib or Asr, I also have the intention of being the imam. You with me? Everybody with me? Tayyib. He says also, and you have to have the intention of being a follower. Obligatory to have the intention of being a follower. It's three people, y'all, in the salat. Either I'm praying by myself, right? Either I'm gonna pray Maghrib by myself, or I'm gonna pray Maghrib, and I'm following the imam, or I'm gonna pray Maghrib and I am the imam. Everybody with me? Every salat, either I'm praying alone, I'm following the imam, or I'm the imam of the salat itself. Clear? The author is saying if you're going to be the imam, obligatory that you make your intention to be the imam. And if you're going to be a follower, obligatory to make your intention to be a follower.
Sometimes you don't have that option. Well, not that you don't have the option. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's like we be standing there and they be like, okay, you need to select forward.
Thought you make your intention before the takbirah.
But that's my question. How do you make the intention to
Nothing. No. Remember, the intention don't have anything to do with saying anything. The intention has nothing to do with saying anything. I don't have to say anything. If we lining up, you know how we do. It's time to pray. Wherever you're at, the imam not there. Somebody call the Akam, all brothers be looking at each other. It's always one brave soul who jump up there who shouldn't have been up there. And then once it's over, everybody want to complain. Everybody want to complain about him getting up there, but nobody who really knew what they was doing wanted to get up there. Right? Whoever gets up there, or whoever we choose to go up there, no, you got to go. Oh, man, I'm my joint. I got to make what do. All the stuff we do to get out the way. Whoever walks up there, at that point, they got to make the intention. And the other people who are standing there, they make the intention to be followers. He says, tajib, obligatory. And of course, this is one of those issues. All of the ulama don't agree with that. but we're going with understanding the text of the book, according to the text of the book. So all the scholars don't agree with that, and there's reasons and hadith behind that.
Well, if you're praying by yourself, if somebody comes.
That's the next issue. That's one of the issues. Like if you're praying by yourself, like the Prophet ﷺ was praying, and then Ibn Abbas came and joined the salat with him. Right? He was praying by. There you go. They're gonna say that's the argument. They're gonna say, but that was a recommended prayer. It's more flexible than recommended prayer. So the ulama differ in those issues, but just so we understand, this is an issue though, about the intention being obligatory to be the imam or not, the intention being obligatory to be a follower or not. According to the author, that's on page 225. I'm sorry, that's 226. It's mandatory to make an intention specifying whether he's performing the prayer as the imam or the ma'mum or the follower. Tayyib. He says, and if a person, if a person praying alone, intends to be a follower, right? You praying alone and they make the intention to be a follower. He says, lam tasih, that's not valid. That you pray alone with the intention to be a follower. We going on, this is based on the previous. If your intention is to pray dhuhr, according to the author, y'all, not according to the differences of the scholars. If your intention is to pray dhuhr as a follower, you have to pray dhuhr as a follower. Don't get in there and start changing, and now you want to change, because now you get into the issue about can you change your niyyah to something else while you're praying, right? So if you had the PDF on page 226, if he makes the niyyah to pray as a follower while praying alone, then his prayer is not accepted. Meaning, whatever you make your intention for, pray like that. Don't get into salat. Once you start praying, now you want to start changing and shifting your intention to do something else because you mess around and invalidate your prayer, and then you have to pray over. Tayyib. It says, Kaniyati imamatihi fardan. Likewise, if he is taken as the imam of an obligatory prayer. And this is why they differ, because the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, the man came, Ibn Abbas, he came and he joined the Prophet ﷺ while he was praying. But like the author said, it'd be the same in an obligatory prayer. If somebody was to come, you praying by himself, you praying by yourself, and somebody comes and joins you while you're praying, and you become the imam. When you started the prayer, did you intend to be the imam? Now, and according to this, that's, as we say, that's gonna mess my salat up. Why would I? If I'm praying by myself, why would I intend to be the imam for other people? Good. If he said, why would you? All right. Every prayer I pray, I'm either praying alone. I'm not the imam if I'm praying alone. The imam leads people. Or I'm following the imam. Or I am the imam. If I'm the imam, it's people following me. If I'm praying alone, there's nobody following. I'm not considered the imam. You with me? So he's saying, okay, you praying alone, according to this, you praying alone. Somebody comes and joins you in the salat. He said, this is going to lam tasih. The salat not going to be valid. Why? Not saying this is right or wrong, y'all. We got to understand the text, though. Why is the salat not valid in this case? Huh? My intention wasn't to be the imam when I started the salat. Fadl.
So if somebody joins you while you're praying, but you still have the intention, like your first intention to pray alone, and they have the intention to follow you, you pray to the valid.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Say that again.
If somebody joins you while you're praying, like with your intention to pray alone, and they have the intention to pray, like to follow you, and does your prayer still like count?
Does his prayer count?
The leader? Pay attention, y'all, because I don't want to scare everybody. I'm not saying take this and start running off when people run next to you while you're praying alone. Really, different on this, and this we only understand in the text. Tayyib. It's other hadith and it's dalil. We're not getting into all that. We make sure you understand the text though. You got to understand what's the issue just in case you see it, you don't trip. If that's the case, if I'm praying alone, according to this, if I'm praying alone, I don't have the intention for the imam as to be the imam. Somebody comes and prays next to me, right? What does that do to my salat? According to the invalid, that my salat is invalid. Why? Because that's assuming I change my intention in the salat to be the imam, which I can't do. Can't do that in the salat. Tayyib. Okay, what do you do? Tayyib.
You say that you just
Maintain your intention.
There you go. Maintain your normal intention. Say, for example, though, I'm gonna tell you what people do. Let me know when they dance, so somebody can call their dance, y'all. What people do is, you got there late for the salat. Is one brother praying for Dhuhr, for example. We already prayed Dhuhr. There's one brother in there praying. He's praying his sunnahs after Dhuhr. You come in late, you think he's praying Dhuhr. You just, you know how we do. We just walk up, Allahu Akbar, and join with the person praying their sunnahs while I'm praying Dhuhr, right? The brother praying Dhuhr, the sister praying Dhuhr, did they have the intention? Did he have the intention to be the imam? No. And I'm not saying we got to, I'm just, come on. I don't want everybody walking on eggshells, but you got to understand the issue, right? This is an issue. If that was the case, that would invalidate the person's prayer, assuming the person who you joined changed his intention to lead you in prayer now. You with me? What if he didn't change his intention to lead you in prayer? And he just still praying. You just stand over, you just praying next to him.
What about yours?
It might not be. There you go. Everything at this time. Yellow call. I'm gonna mute this. If I could figure out. Oh. طيب, Bismillah. The next issue. This is the issue of leaving the prayer. You leave the salat as a follower, meaning you praying behind the imam. I'm just saying, brother, like I gotta go to work. He reading too long. He steps over, he gets out of the salat, and he steps over and prays by himself. Or she prays by herself, and then she leaves. They were with the jama'ah, praying with the jama'ah, and then they separate themselves from the congregation and pray alone. He says, if a person does that without an excuse, they invalidate their prayer. To separate from praying behind the imam without a valid excuse is going to invalidate a person's salat. And if it invalidates the salat, what does that mean? They have to pray over. طيب. Everybody clear? And the question is, what's a valid excuse? Fadlan.
Would that be the same? Because you specifically said if they in the prayer, they leave out of the prayer while the imam is leading the prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Would that take the same ruling with right now? We just call it then. Somebody gotta be somewhere in 10 minutes. So the Maghrib time is in right now.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody pray right now, is that the same? Because is it a valid excuse for them to not pray even though they waiting to pray the congregation prayer?
Sahih, yeah, that's valid. It's if a person, for example, one of the reasons is the imam is reading too long. Not too long, but the imam is reading long, and maybe a person they really do have to leave. And if they have to leave, it's fine. See, what we do is we do the opposite. Because you got to go somewhere, you want to rush the whole jama'ah. You want to walk in somebody's masjid, right? They have a whole setup, the time they pray and all that. But since you have to go somewhere, since you have to be to work, since you got to go pick up your kids, since you got to go pick up your wife, since you got to do something, you want all of us to rush the jama'ah so you can go where you have to go, which is the opposite. If you have to go somewhere, you're allowed to step to the side, make your prayer and leave. Yeah, but I want to pray the jama'ah. Yeah, but you have a prior obligation, which doesn't allow you to pray the jama'ah with us. There's no pressure like that, right? Or sickness. Maybe the person's just sick. They got to leave. They can't stand any longer. They can't stay in the prayer any longer. If they stay in the prayer any longer, I'm just saying they might throw up on the rug. They might, something might happen. They get out of the slot. Tell you, a person, they're going to miss the trolley is coming. They got to get home. This is the last trolley running tonight. They still didn't pray yet. I'm going to miss it. A person has a reason for doing it. Not a person just going to get out the slot, stand outside, wait till everybody finish, and they're going to come back in because they don't feel like waiting or whatever. Tayyib. There's only two more issues here. He says, وَتُبْتِلُ صَلَاةَ الْمَأْمُومِ بِبُطْلَانِ صَلَاةِ الْإِمَامِ بِلَا اسْتِخْلَافٍ. This is the issue of, it's on 228. The salat of the congregation is broken if the imam's salat is broken. If the imam's salat is broken, then everybody's salat is broken. Meaning the imam is praying and let's just say he broke wudu while he was praying. That means the whole jama'ah, the whole salat is broken. We got to start over.
I've been in situations where that wasn't done.
What was done?
Well, what was done, well, in both situations, what was done, the man realized that he didn't have wudu. So he stepped back and he pulled the brother from the rank to lead the salat, and then he left to make wudu. He came back. SubhanAllah.
No, you could do that. That's why it says there is no replacement. There's no replacement if I already broke wudu. The salat is done already. But if I'm leading a salat and I feel like I'm about to break my wudu, then I make istikhlaf, it's called. I pull somebody from the front row. It's important for the brothers. See, can't run. I pull somebody from the front row to lead the salat. And then I leave and go break my wudu and then make wudu over, and then I gotta come join the salat again. But not if I already broke my wudu.
Or you didn't have it. Or you realized you didn't have it.
If I didn't have it, the salat never started.
So all those people, the brothers were saying that you pulled somebody up there to lead the salat. When they got finished, everybody's salat was invalid, or did the salat?
Sheikh, I ain't messing with them people. I don't know what happened. Sheikh, I'm not messing with what happened. I'm giving you the rule. Those people there at the Haram, you talking about he stopped. He stopped everybody. He said, "Untadhiru daqiqa." He went and made wudu. He came back and they started over. Now,
this was a different situation.
Assuming the assumption is, if you're going to say that, the assumption is the person broke wudu.
Well, no, this is a different situation.
Okay.
Not breaking wudu. The imam got sick. All right, he got sick. I think it was the imam who did. I'm not sure, but he got sick and he started to faint. And a sheikh from behind him got up and led the salat. Finished it.
No problem. As long as the wudu is not broken. Istikhlaf is about pulling somebody up for it to be the imam. Is I think I'm about to break my wudu. I have a reason. I need to get out the way, because if I don't get out the way, according to the principle, the rule, I'm going to break the whole salat of the jama'ah. Everybody with me? So it's possible the imam is leading the salat and he knows he's not going to make it through the salat. He has to use the bathroom. He's still in wudu, but he said, I'm not going to make it through the salat like this. He makes what they call, it says a replacement, which means he'll pull somebody from the front row or give a direction to somebody in the front row to come take over the salat where he left off, and then they continue where he left off. Tayyib. So he says the salat is of the imam, the salat of the followers is broken if the salat of the imam is broken. And if the salat of the imam is broken, there is no replacement. Why? Because the salat is already broken. But if it's not broken, then there is a replacement. Tayyib. Lastly, وَإِنْ أَحْرَمَ إِمَامَ الْحَيِّ بِمَنْ أَحْرَمَ بِهِمْ نَائِبُهُ وَعَادَ النَّائِبْ مُتَّمًّا صَحَّ. This is like the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where, if I'm not mistaken, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was leading the salat, and then the Prophet ﷺ came out of the house, and then Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu moved back, and the Prophet ﷺ led the salat, right? That if a person, it says the Imam al-Hayy, meaning the designated Imam, the masjid has a designated Imam, right? And the designated Imam is not there. So they start praying. The designated Imam comes and joins the salat while they're praying, right? So let's just say, like we pray right here, a person can see people coming through the door. You might see the Imam come through the door. I'm not trying this, don't, because y'all might, you see the Imam come through the door, and the person leading the salat backs up to join the rank so that the Imam can lead the salat, the designated Imam. You with me? Meaning this is while we praying. While we're praying, the brother's praying, leading the salat, it's a whole congregation going on. He noticed the Imam of the masjid comes in, so what does he do? As we say, he falls back in the line with everybody else, and he allows the Imam to come take over the prayer in the middle of the prayer while they're praying. You got to know what you're doing to do that, though. Point being is that if we see something like this, even if I don't know how to do it, if I see it, if I go to a masjid and they practice something like this, I know there's an origin in Islam for it. Everything that I don't know is not bid'ah and wrong, and they shout out because they did it because I don't know it. Even if I don't know how to do it, I don't know all of the rules, because there's rules to doing that, a little more rules to doing that. Even if I don't know it, can we even do that? Is it allowed for a person to be leading the salat, and because the Imam showed up, you back up and let him lead the salat? Why ain't you just finish the salat? See, we're going to get mad and say, why didn't you just finish the salat? Right? Does anybody know why? Why would a person do that? Out of respect? Out of respect for what?
Man, his position, or maybe, his position, or maybe what he's holding as far as knowledge.
Out of respect for the Imam. Tayyib. It says if a deputy Imam leads the prayer in the absence of the Imam, the deputy Imam is a person filling in for the Imam. The Imam has the most right to lead the salat in that masjid. But can the person who led the salat, can they lead the salat? They can lead the salat there. But a person like this, out of respect for the Imam that comes in, a person might step back and let the Imam take over. Just like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu did for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's where that issue comes from.
So that you're explaining the conditioning.
What's what?
About his reason for stepping back.
No, I was just a question, just so we can figure out why would somebody even do that.
Because I'm kind of like hand in hand now, because did we previously just say that a person can't go from an imam to a follower?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did say that.
So he just went from an imam to
Sahih. Now you see the problem? He said he just went from the Imam to a follower. Didn't he say you can't go from the Imam to a follower? They're going to say, well, it's a text specifying we can do that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking.
They might argue that. And the other people might say, how are you going to use that when the Prophet ﷺ did this? The person might say, well, the general rule is you can't do that, but there's a text specifying that you can do that. And this is where they differ and stuff like that. But it's important to see that sometimes I think I said this the first class. These books are not the Quran. You know what I'm saying? This is a very huge task to put a book like this together, but it doesn't mean that the author could not have made a mistake. It couldn't mean he couldn't have been wrong in the issue. It doesn't mean that. But we don't read books assuming that every issue he's wrong about. Because if you go to the bigger books like this is volume 1, right? And this one book is explained in 8 volumes or 7 volumes. So we're not going to do a 7-volume read on a book this size if we get into all of that. You understand what I'm saying? No, I'm not trying to say you were talking. I'm just saying, when you get to those issues like that, and just like you said, well, wait a minute, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be thinking, wait a minute, I thought you just said we couldn't do that. That's what we're supposed to be doing. No, Sheikh, you fine. We're supposed to be saying, I thought the rule said you couldn't do that. You're supposed to do that. This is not, I'm not trying to be funny. This is not just information to be having. This is not information just to be having. This is information to be thinking, wait a minute, 2 lines ago, we couldn't go from being the imam, our intention, to, so how now are you saying we can? And that's going to lead to discussion, dalil, why not? It ain't supposed to be we just take everything down. You got to jog your mind, inshallah. Yes, Sheikh. Further. No, you can.
Seriously, because a couple of questions come into mind when the man comes and he takes the designated man comes and he takes over the salat from the deputized. Does he start over by saying the Fatiha, or does he just pick up where he left off? And if he does he have to make that up?
Allah. I won't get into that today because ain't no prayer without Al-Fatiha. The easier one is if it's a little easier if you make an istikhlaf. If you bring in a replacement from the front row because he already prayed with you whatever you prayed. So the person that, if I think I'm gonna break my wudu, this one is easy, right? The person I'm gonna break my wudu and I'm not gonna make it, I said, man, I gotta get somebody up here. I turn around, pull Sheikh Ali up. Sheikh Ali takes over. He done already prayed everything I prayed, so he gonna pick up right where I left off. Alhamdulillah. The other one, Allah Allah.
We have examples of a lot of these situations in the seerah.
Yes.
When if you have to leave the salat for around an excuse or with an excuse.
Yes.
Because we had Mu'adh ibn Jabal used to pray with the prophet.
Yes.
And then leave the prophet's masjid and go to his masjid.
Sorry.
And leave the believers in the salat. One man left the salat.
Right.
For that same reason.
Which means that
reading long.
He was reading long.
And they complained to the prophet about the man.
And it shows he prayed. There's a couple issues in there, but like Sheikh said, that a lot of these is written in a line like that, like the shit is written in like a one-liner, right? But that one-liner is taken from the hadith. He just didn't write the whole hadith out. He summarized the hadith in the one line and made it a rule in one line. But if you want to get to where that one line comes from, we have to go to the hadith of the Prophet. It's going to be a whole story. He took the whole story, summarized it into a line at the end of the chapter. So a lot of them are like that. And it's written like that intentionally for the purpose of what they call tasawwur, getting a picture of what the issue is. And then we can get into the dalil later, inshallah. We stop there so we can pray, inshallah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barakatuh Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Oh, snap.